Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So it's official, season 3 is happening. The Walking Dead, or I guess AMC, has officially announced that Dead City season 3 is going to be happening, and they honestly did it in a really amazing way. And I'm really excited to talk about Dead City season 3 because we actually have a lot of new information here and some story details. There's actually one thing here that is really interesting in terms of where the story is going to be going here for season 3. And so yeah, before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you want to get all of my Walking Dead content like this. So The Walking Dead posted on their Twitter, or sorry, X, New York City isn't done with Negan and Maggie just yet. Dead City will be returning for season 3 with the Walking Dead veteran Seth Hoffman joining as showrunner. And so, yeah, we get this really incredible artwork here for season 3 of The Walking Dead Dead City. And I think that this announcement right here, first of all, there's a couple of things. They're not saying it's the final season, so there's likely going to be a season 4 that could be the ending. But I thought that when we got the announcement for season 3, that maybe they were going to announce season 3 and 4 together. And that, you know, maybe that would be like the ending of Dead City. But it kind of looks like here that season 3 is just going to be another season. And then that season 4 might be announced at a different time. And maybe that's going to be, you know, the official, I guess, final season. Maybe they go for season 5. Like, it's one of those things that now that the show is going to be getting a different showrunner, that like the show could be so good for season 3. It might be one of the best seasons because you really don't know when it comes to having a different showrunner, right? Like, if you look at The Walking Dead, season 1 was really great. Season 2, a lot of people didn't like, even though I do like season 2. And then season 3, you know, I think people didn't like the decision to kill off Andrea. And there was a couple of other things because they had a different showrunner at the time. They were just like, we don't like the direction of any of this. And so Scott Gimple came in for season 4. And like, that's one of the best seasons ever, right? So we'll have to wait and see where this goes, obviously. But I think getting Seth Hoffman as the new showrunner is really incredible news. Obviously, we've sort of known about this for a while, but it's official now. So Eli Journay is not the showrunner anymore. We don't really know why. I don't know if it's because of the story direction or if it's because he wanted to go and do other things, but it's yeah, it's one of those things where, I mean, obviously we're not going to find out. It's not like they're going to be like, yeah, you know what, we didn't really like where season 2 was going, right? It's just something they're going to be like, all right, we're going in this direction, it's going to be awesome, and that's it. Like, that's probably all we're ever going to hear, unless we hear something from Eli and he says like, oh, I didn't really like this or this and that, or I just thought it was, you know, a good time to do something else, or like, I don't really know, right? Maybe there was disagreements or whatever, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Like, Seth Hoffman, he's been with The Walking Dead for a while. Well, actually, he hasn't been with The Walking Dead for quite some time, but he used to write some episodes, I believe, or produce episodes and whatnot. I think going back to season 4, like season 4, 5, 6, somewhere around there. So he's been with The Walking Dead for a while. And this is really, I think, incredible news. I think if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, because Dead City Season 2, I think, was an improvement over Season 1, but there was some issues, and there are issues, I would say, with the way that Scott Gimple is running The Walking Dead. But I think that getting a new showrunner, the first thing that you're going to want to do is like, well, what are all the criticisms of the season, right? And I think, I mean, you can literally take that and then go in this direction. And I think that maybe that's what Seth Hoffman wants to do here. So I'm excited for season 3. I really am. I think that it's going to be a totally different, like, change in the story. The feeling of the show is going to be different. And I think that, you know, they might keep the stuff, obviously, that people do like, but I really do think that it's going to be completely, you know, changed entirely. Like, if you look at The Walking Dead from season 8 to 9 even, right? Like, when Angela Kang took over, she changed a lot of what the story was like and what the show felt like, you know, going into season 9. And I really liked season 9 a lot. Like, the Whisper arc, like the starting of that and everything, like Rick's final episodes were just really incredible. So I'm excited for season 3, but let's actually get into some of the stuff here that I guess was actually officially announced here. I'm seeing this from TV Line, but let's actually get into what I guess the AMC boss said regarding, I guess, the renewal here for season 3. And that is, we're thankful to Eli for 2 seasons of Dead City that took the story of these iconic characters in exciting new directions and broadened this thriving universe by introducing a new corner of the Walker apocalypse. As we continue to create new stories for a passionate fan base, we're delighted to have a seasoned Walking Dead veteran like Seth at the helm of a new season. Alongside the remarkable Lauren Cohen and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, that will bring new adversaries and alliances and push the boundaries of Maggie and Negan's conflicted relationship. So, I mean, just, yeah, really cool to actually see that. Again, it's one of those things where, like, they're just going to be very thankful to Eli Journey, and, like, it was really awesome that you were the showrunner or whatever. They're just going to move on. Like, they're not going to be talking about, you know, the reason why he left as showrunner at all. Like, even with Scott Gimple, like, if you think about the fact that, you know, he left as showrunner of The Walking Dead in season 8, they never, like, fired him or anything like that. It was like they promoted him, and it was just like, thank you so much, but we're getting a new showrunner, Angela Kang. And it was really mostly just that. So we don't really know the reason why here. It could have to do with the story. Maybe a lot of people didn't like the direction of season 1 and 2, but they want to go in a different direction here for season 3. And I think that, honestly, it's something that probably is needed. Even though I was a fan of season 2, there were a lot of criticisms, I think, regarding the overall tone and, like, feeling of the show that, you know, a lot of people said felt boring. I do see that aspect to it. I think there needs to be a lot more connections with other characters, other things in the world, and a lot of just better, you know, I guess, world aspects that need to be, you know, built up a lot more, because there's just, it feels so small. Like, the story just feels like there's nothing there, really. Like, it's just this, you know, whatever drama happening in this part of the world. And it's like, The Walking Dead, like, yes, there is that part to it that definitely is something that is really important, right? Like, you look at, like, Rick, Lori, and Shane, right? Like, all of that drama, it's like, that's not bigger world stuff. That's just, like, you know, their own little drama. But it's just, you need to have that, but also the other stuff as well, right? That makes it exciting, because you have all this bigger world stuff happening, and then you have, you know, the small drama that sort of complicates things a lot, right? So I think that's what's been kind of missing from Dead City, is, like, it's just been all, you know, the small drama stuff, and a lot of the bigger stuff like New Babylon and everything else. It's like they're not really focusing on it too much, because we don't know a lot about the communities. We don't know a lot about really any of that, right? And I think that's something that Eli Journey just really failed to do, I would say. I also want to get into what AMC says here about, I guess, season 3 of The Walking Dead Dead City. And this is the official synopsis of the season, which is really interesting. And I think it actually hints at what the story is going to be, because this is something that I was actually really surprised by, that they actually gave away, like, this detail regarding the season. So it says, in season 3, Maggie and Negan finally put aside their differences to build the first thriving community in Manhattan since the apocalypse. But when chaos in the city begins to arise, they are forced to question, have they learned from their old wounds, or will their dark past spell doom for the entire city? So that's, like, I mean, trying to understand what that means is, it's a lot. So they're building the first thriving community in Manhattan. I mean, it's going to be something that I think is, I don't think going to be completely like, are they going to do a time jump of, like, a couple of years? I imagine it's going to be a time jump of, like, a year or so. Like, they have to do somewhat of a time jump, I would assume, just because the actor who plays Herschel is obviously getting older. And so you do want to get the characters to be, you know, the right age, I would say, overall. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense anyways, because the actors who play, like, RJ and Judith, like, they're getting a lot older, right? By the time they want to do, like, the Ones Who Live season 2 or, like, the reunion story, they're going to be a lot older. So the story, no matter what, is going to catch up to Dead City's timeline. But I think, you know, for them building the first thriving community, that's really awesome to see. So, like, where things left off there, they might honestly just do a total refresher here and be like, all right, they built this community here, and this is what's going on. How does New Babylon, I guess, get involved there? Are New Babylon even involved with it? Like, what if New Babylon takes the methane and just leaves? Like, that could literally be a thing. Or, like, how are they involved in all of this, right? Like, there's Herschel and Dama. Like, are they there? The Croat? Like, there's a lot of questions here. And to me, this really feels like they're almost trying to refreshen the story here quite a bit. And obviously there's the whole thing there where it's like, will their past, you know, I guess, spell doom for the entire city? I don't think it's going to. I really don't. I think what Lauren Cohen has been saying about The Walking Dead Dead City Season 3 so far is that it's going to be very new. And it seems like the direction they're going in now is like, they're actually going to be working together. So it's not going to be like, you know, all this stuff coming up from the past and all of that. It's just going to be like this new story focused on this and that. And like, I'm excited for this. Honestly, I think that this is what Dead City needed. And I think that Dead City could be a really amazing, just like incredible show. And this is honestly what Dead City needs right here. Like, this just feels like this is exactly like, I think season 3 is going to be, well, it could be one of the best seasons. We'll have to wait and see, obviously, until we see the trailer. But just story-wise, anyways, so far, I like the direction that they're going in. Them building a community, it makes a lot of sense. Like, I do think that there's going to be a time jump of maybe 6 months to a year, or we'll have to wait and see. Honestly, this might feel like a new beginning, which would be kind of cool. But I think it's one of those things where it's like they might be looking at the story and be like, all right, these things aren't working. We need to change this and that and make this a lot better. And I really feel like that's why they changed the showrunner, is because they just didn't like the story direction overall. Because, I mean, you saw that sort of from everyone too, right? Like, there was a lot of criticism about that. One thing that we learned too is that production on season 3 begins this fall, not in Manhattan, but Boston. So obviously they had been filming like in Boston and whatnot for the show, I think for season 2. And season 1, I think they filmed in New Jersey or something like that. But yeah, for season 3, they are going to be filming in Boston. And according to Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he actually talked about this recently, I saw, and I think it's in September. It's going to be like the first week or two of September. So yeah, that's going to be really exciting. They're going to be filming then. I think that means that by the time The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon season 3 finishes airing, which will be mid to late October, we'll probably get like a first look teaser at Dead City season 3. And then in terms of the release dates for everything in 2026, that's what's going to be really interesting about the whole thing, is like, when does all of that happen, right? Like, they're filming season 4 of The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon right now. That almost makes it seem like the show's going to be out in the spring, because they've been filming for like the last month or so, right? And it doesn't take exactly a year to have the show come out, because Dead City season 3 started filming at some point, you know, late last year, and now the show's coming out obviously in the fall. I think because they started then, like, they can easily have the show out by May or June. But Dead City, you know, if they're filming in September, like, I don't see a way the show could come out in May or June of next year. Like, to me, it almost makes sense that maybe season 3 is coming out late 2026, because I don't know, it just kind of makes sense to me at this point that it's probably going to be out in late 2026. Like, maybe they push it off to early 2027, but that would mean that there's not a lot of Walking Dead content at all in 2026 besides The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon season 4, which I think would be a big mistake for the show, because that's something that, you know, like, you want there to be excitement. You don't want people to forget about like certain aspects of the story, right? So to me, it seems like because they are filming The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon season 4, that I think that story is going to be out a lot sooner, I guess, than Dead City, unless they somehow rush the story there, but, or like the post-production process of all of it, right? Which is possible. Like, the thing is, back in the day, like, they would start filming in May of that current year, and the show would be out in October. Like, you know what I mean? And it was 16 episodes. They would film from May to November, and it would air throughout, you know, October to April. So, like, it's possible to do that. Like, them filming in September and the show coming out next May or June, like, makes a lot of sense. That is very possible. You could have the show come out then, but for some reason, you know, shows take a lot longer to come out now. Though I will say shows have been coming out a little bit quicker in the last like year or so. So we'll have to wait and see. But anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. Definitely post your thoughts down below on season 3 here and all the news that we got here. You know, Seth Hoffman obviously is going to be, I guess, the new showrunner here. And I do think is going to make really amazing changes to the show. Yeah, just post your thoughts down below on everything here. And also, I guess, on the synopsis that we got for the story here. And some predictions, or I guess wants, that you want from season 3 of The Walking Dead Dead City. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.